Randy Rhino grew up right here in Charlotte and attended Olympic High School. He lettered in football, baseball, and basketball, was All-State and All-American, and earned the title Athlete of the Year in the Charlotte area. At Georgia Tech, he played both football and baseball, earning honors in both. In football, Rhino became the only three-time first-team All-American in Georgia Tech history. He collected 72 tackles his sophomore season, including 10 touchdown-saving tackles. During his college career, Rhino had 14 interceptions, the second most in school history. His lightning-fast speed and his ability to elude tacklers made him an excellent return man as well. He led the nation in punt returns in 1972, averaging 17.6 yards on 25 returns, and he still holds the school record with a 96-yard punt return for a touchdown against South Carolina. While at Tech, he averaged 13.1 yards in punt returns and 23.5 yards per kickoff return, and both ranked in the top 6 in Tech history. Following his senior season, Rhino played in the Blue-Gray and Hula Bowl All-Star Games. In the Canadian Football League, he earned All-Pro honors for the 1977, 78, and 80 seasons and was a member of the Grey Cup championship team in 1977. He retired with the CFL record for career punt return yardage. From the Georgia Institute of Technology, the 2013 Bronco Nagurski Legends Award winner, Mr. Randy Rhino.
First of all, I want to thank the Charlotte Touchdown Club and the Florida East Coast Railway for this incredible honor. When I was first called and told that I'd won this award, I have to tell you and be honest with you, I really thought that they had made a mistake. When I think of the name Bronco Nagurski, I think of a head-hunting guy who goes around making big hits, and of course that's what he was. And that was not my game. I was more of what you'd call a playmaker. I can remember a game my junior year. We were playing the University of Tennessee. They had a great quarterback named Connor Holloway. Was a great quarterback. It was one of those games that every athlete has. It's a game you wanted to forget. And I had one touchdown thrown over me. I think Connors ran over me at the goal line for another touchdown. And I stood on that sideline, and I watched that clock tick down, and I wanted to get in the locker room, and I didn't want to talk to anybody. Clock went off, went down to 0, horn went off, and I took off sprinting across the field to get to the locker room. And about halfway across the field, I ran right over a little old lady that was walking across the field. I reached down, I picked her up, I brushed her off. I said, "Ma'am, I am so sorry. Please forgive me." And she looked up at me and she said, "Sonny boy, don't you apologize. That's the hardest you hit anybody all day." I would like to take this opportunity to thank some very special people in my life. First of all, I want to thank the good Lord for giving me the ability to play football. I had a poster in my room growing up that said, "What you are is God's gift to you, and what you make of yourself is your gift to God." And I hope that at least that part of my life He's pleased with. Secondly, I want to thank the greatest coach I ever had, my dad, Chapel Rhino. If you lived in Charlotte in the 60s, you probably remember the mighty Star Calais Lions. We were a Pop Warner team out of Montclair over on South Boulevard. My dad was the coach. I played with my brother. He taught me how to play football. My mom and dad were not able to be here tonight, but they were watching at home. Thank you, Dad. Thirdly, in the summer of 1970, while I was still living here in Charlotte, I opened an envelope that said that I was not going to be able to finish my high school career at South Mecklenburg. It was because of a court-ordered busing plan that had been instituted in Mecklenburg County. I was instead going to finish it at Olympic High School. a school that had never won more than 3 or 4 games in their short history. To say the least, I was devastated. We were going to be a pretty good team at South, and I had dreams of a college scholarship. What I didn't know at that time was the character of the football players already at Olympic and the leadership skills of their football staff led by Coach Joe I. White. Olympic already had a very good running back. His name was Bobby Cook. Bobby was an African American. Bobby was expecting to get all the carries that year. But here instead comes Randy Rhino, a Caucasian kid, who ends up getting most of the carries. It all had the makings of a very, very volatile situation. If you lived in Charlotte in the 70s in that year, it was a very difficult time. The first week of school, there were pretty much fights and violence every day. The football players at Olympic High School never participated. Under the leadership of Coach White and his staff and the unselfishness of Bobby Cook, we became a team. They could have based the movie Remember the Titans on the 1970 Olympic High Trojans. Unfortunately, Bobby died of a heart attack several years ago, but I'm so happy that Coach White, Coach Bruce Harden, baseball coach, Coach Dave Johnson, are all here tonight, and I'd just like to acknowledge them. Thank you, guys. Fourthly, my freshman coach at Georgia Tech, Dick Bestwick, made a decision my freshman year that would change my life forever. Halfway through my freshman year, Coach Bestwick called me in his office, and even though I was the leading rusher on the freshman team at the time, he said he thought my chances of helping the varsity the next year would be better as a defensive back. So I made the switch, had 2 or 3 days of practice, and in my first game at safety, intercepted 3 passes against South Carolina. Thank you, Coach Bestwick. Fifthly, he was only my coach for 1 year at Georgia Tech, but he taught me everything there was to know about being a defensive back, Coach Bill Lewis, and I thank him. Finally, in 2002, Georgia Tech's then AD, Dave Brain, gave me an opportunity to have my dream job. He invited me to come down and work in the Georgia Tech training room as a team chiropractor. Subsequent Georgia Tech ADs, Dan Radakovich and now Mike Bobinski, along with our head trainer, Jay Shoup, have continued to allow me to work with the kind of young men that y'all have seen tonight, and it is truly an honor and a privilege for me to do that. There's one more guy I want to thank. I want to thank an old Georgia Tech teammate, Doug Campbell, for asking me to watch his date one night in underground Atlanta while he went to the bar to get them another drink. Her name was Missy Smith. Missy and I will be celebrating our 39th wedding anniversary. Thank you, Doug. In conclusion, I want to leave a challenge to these great young men that we've seen tonight. You wouldn't be here if you had not dedicated yourself to being the best football player you could be. I want to challenge you tonight to use that same fire, that same dedication, that same work ethic to one day be the best husband and the best father that you can be. Thank you so much.
Great finishing words there about being a good husband and dad. Mean a lot to all of us. The moment we have all been waiting for is almost here, the presentation of the 2013 Bronco Nagurski Trophy. Bronco Nagurski was known for his raw, brute force and the style in which he played football. He was more than just talented. He played with